Yo, what is up, Ramblin' Raiders listeners? Welcome back to the RIP Week 7 edition. I have the full panel with me here tonight. As you can see, we got Big Pick Joe, Laney's Locks, and Tail Magic Mark. What's up, guys? I honestly, we haven't really gotten to collaborate or catch up much pre-pod, so I don't know how everybody did last week. I did hear somebody mention, I believe it was a 1-4 outing. I'm going to assume that was Magic Mark because I see his name at the bottom there is I pick losers. So I'm going to start with Mark. Let's give the listeners a little recap of last week, and we'll work our way around the panel here.
Yeah, last week was not great financially, and then personal interest. Tough game against Alabama. We were boots on the ground. Boots on the ground did not bring us a win. I know Big Pig Army was back in that one. It was tough. I'm not doing too well right now. I mean, if you're still telling me, I greatly appreciate you because you might be missing mortgage payments because this is brutal right now. But we're gonna try to ride the ship. I got some tricks up my sleeve this week for you guys.
If
Mark
you're telling Mark, or sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Mark's 0-2 with boots on the ground this year.
I know.
Stop going to
Wait,
Aggie games,
I
man.
thought
I
I
might be
thought
done.
Mark, I thought he got a win with Tulane in New Orleans.
Yeah, that
That's
was boots on the ground.
That's
There
boots
we
on the
go.
ground.
okay,
Can count it.
1-2.
1-2. Matt, I watched the movie Cinderella Man last night, and I got to say, I feel like people that are tailing Mark right now feel like they're going through the Great Depression. Like they're down as bad as those families were, following the Cinderella or during that time with the Cinderella Man. They're in the 30s, and so Mark, we need you to like be that guy. You can be Braddock, man, JJ Braddock, and come back, be the Cinderella Man of betters, and like you got to take your people back to the promised land, get them behind you again, man. I know you can do it.
Yeah. No, I need to. I mean, we got half a football season left. I mean, I can equally get white hot here and turn it around. So let's see what we can
Yeah.
do.
Good old Jim. If y'all haven't seen that movie, by the way, it's an all-timer, man. Jim J. Braddock. Jimmy. What up, Lane? How's it going? How'd your week? I mean, me and Lane, I will say, we got to watch the Texas Tech game together. Mrs. Chef showed up to Twin Peaks with us. We watched that brutal Aggie loss, and we were,
You
slowly
were
but
pumped up
surely.
about that, yeah.
Yeah, Lane was pumped. I was trying to, conceal my excitement so my wife wouldn't be pissed at me. And then we watched the Astros, I think, go out and they got a dub, I believe, that day.
Sure
That's
did.
right. Yeah, we got a dub. Sorry, here's some yelling going on in the background. And it was all good. And then we came home. We had the infamous Tito Mertel join us with his younger brother Trace. We had a great time with the Mertels watching the football game. And Texas Tech came out, dominating performance. Should have been riding with the Red Raiders, covered by a mile. Lane, how'd the rest of your slate go that Saturday?
So the rest of the slate was rough. It was my first bad weekend, my first losing weekend of the year, 6 weeks in. I went 1-4. Colorado was really close, tight. They won by a field goal, I believe. That line was at 4 for me, so pretty atrocious there. And then all of a sudden, Oklahoma State and Iowa State decided to show up and be teams of destiny this past weekend, I guess. I mean, they were looking horrible all year, and they both pull it out of their ass and play dominant games against Kansas State and TCU. It was really weird. So, I mean, you can discredit those. But we're riding with Wyoming still. They're on someone's card this week, I believe, and they covered the spread and beat Fresno State last week. So I'd keep riding Wyoming as a betting man like I am. So, yeah, that was the week last week. I will say I did win money on Texas Tech. Took them -1.5, I believe, and that covered by a mile. So won a little extra money on that play. I didn't pick that for my card though. But looking to bounce back this week and keep my winning record alive.
Love that, man. Yeah, the Big 12 is so bipolar right now. Yeah, you got teams coming out of nowhere. Nobody can get a read on it. And I think you weren't the only one that was, walked away scratching their heads on Saturday Lane with the Iowa State, Oklahoma State outing.
And
I certainly did not see that coming at all.
hell, I looked at their spreads this week and I wanted to go right back to them again, but it's so topsy turvy you can't do it.
You never know. I mean, I thought Iowa State, I guess they recovered pretty quickly from that betting scandal they had. The boys turned it around in the locker room and got some mojo going.
They must have bet heavily on themselves in this one because they smoked TCU.
They had, no, that's what their coach said. He goes like, if we're going to bet, we might as well, put a little skin in the game. So they were playing extra motivated. Joe, how about you, brother? What do we,
I had a
did
rough
we,
weekend.
damn.
1-4. I'm holding on dearly to my winning record. That brings us to 17 and 16 on the year. So I stuck my nose to the grindstone, and I'm ready to get back on a roll. And I got 5 winners this week.
5 winners.
I'm
Wow.
the last 2 weeks. I'm 2-8, and Joe is 1-9. So if you're fading Mark and Joe, I mean, you are looking good.
Let's just
Sounds
call
like-
this podcast the hashtag fade instead of the hashtag red.
It sounds like it might be time, to go ahead and tell the people to turn the tide and just fade the boys and, start making some money. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Week 7, off the top of my head, you got some decent matchups around the country, some potential playoff implications, I believe. When you look at the Pac-12, you look at the Pac-12, you got a big one over there. So on that note, let's start out west in the Pacific Northwest over there with Big Pick Joe, man. I mean, it's rare. I've kind of watched the trends with Joe over the years, man. He doesn't string together, losing weekends like this very often. So eventually, the tide's got to turn is the way I see it, Joe. So go ahead and lead us back to the promised land.
Yep, I'm excited for this week. My first pick, I got Tulane at Memphis, over 54.5. 2 high-powered offenses, not great defenses. So I'm looking for this one to fly over. You see at least both teams put up 30 points this week, and they get over 54 pretty handedly. Number 2, I've got Kentucky in a bounce-back spot, -2.5 at home against Missouri. I like that one a lot. I like this Kentucky team. Rough weekend last weekend, but this team's still in the hunt in the SEC, and -2.5 is not enough against Missouri. Number 3, I've got Florida going on the road against South Carolina. South Carolina -2.5. I think they're just flat out the better team, better quarterback play, and 2.5 again is not enough for the Gamecocks. Number 4, I'm getting back to fading bad teams. Michigan State going on the road against the Rutgers team. Greg Schiano is going to have this Rutgers team playing fiery this week, -4.5, and they're going to beat down Michigan State pretty handedly. Number 5, game of the weekend, college game day, Oregon at Washington. I see this game at 27-24, and I'm looking at the under 67. As long as there's no OT, I think this under hits pretty handily. Oregon's got a stout defense. I think they hold Michael Penix relatively in check. And 67 is just a lot of points for a big rivalry primetime game. So I'm taking the under 67. And we're going to get back in the winning streak that I promise. I'm excited for this week. Big Pick Army, I hear you in the DMs. I hope you keep up that energy when we start winning again.
The DMs, the Discord, man. Are you just getting roasted right now? It wouldn't be the first time. Like
my DMs are flooded. I had to mute and block a couple people because they're just getting out of hand. Coming from my family, coming from my pride.
Wow, dude, it would be the first time.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's why we do this, for that, to face that adversity and have to try to overcome that. I was gonna say it wouldn't be the first time that the Ramblin' Raiders have been, roasted in the Discord or the DM. So we're used to that hate, man, and we can take it on the chin and keep going. So we're not worried about it. If I know Joe, if I know Big Pick Army, they're gonna bounce back in a big way. How about, I like that slate, Joe, too, really. Honestly, I think you put a lot of thought into that. I do have a quick question though. What is that, a fishing pole above your head right there?
Oh yeah, that's a custom fly rod.
You've never been fly fishing in your life.
I can't get an invite.
I actually don't do too much fly fishing. It's a little bit too windy most of the year, but I've got my own bait caster that I just rigged up a couple weekends ago. It's funny. I'll cut up some wet cat food and throw it upriver so it'll chum up the water and get all the fish, like where you don't have to go too far.
Hey,
So
that's spoken like a true like wilderness man out there chumming. I mean, you're
Surviving.
chumming. I've never heard of somebody chumming the river water for speckled trout, for rainbow trout. That's
This
awesome,
is
dude.
good
I mean,
cat
Joe,
food.
with
yeah,
some good old cat food, man. I mean,
yeah,
I think we have a new Catfish John on our hands, and it's Catfish Joe. I
yeah. I
can't,
might have to change my Twitter name.
dude. Honestly, big pick. I think that could be the move for you going forward. How about Laney's locks? I think I had Lane go last week, so I'll let you go ahead and jump in there, Lane. What's the move on the slate
Yeah,
for Laney's locks followers?
I'll gladly jump in and put the winning slate on the books here in the middle. We know this is going to be the best card. It has been if you've been betting with us since week one. These bets have been the best. I've only had one losing record on the weekend, so here we go. We're bouncing back. We're starting with UNC versus Miami. UNC has been really good against the spread this year, really positive. -3.5 against Miami. They're coming off an absolutely atrocious loss where they should have just knelt the ball. Instead, they run, fumble, and the opposing team throws a touchdown for the win. That's going to stick with them for a couple weeks. That doesn't go away right away. And I like Drake
No, that's
May. UNC wins this one by more than 3.5. I think they win by more than a touchdown actually at home for this one. So I look for UNC to take care of business.
some
Lano,
say
you know who threw
Miami.
that? You know who threw
What?
that game-winning touchdown?
No.
Haynes
Mr.
King.
Haynes King.
Oh, Haynes King. That's right.
I was
Yeah, that's right.
That was 1 week off, man. The guy
That's
had
right.
God,
a weekend of destiny the weekend after he really let me and all of Big Pick Army down.
Yeah,
Joe,
no,
you just
he made a
missed
couple
it.
for us on that drive too that were impressive. Because they had to make a deep pass to kind of get in that range, and then he sent a hummer for the
It's
for the TD.
Well, it's impressive because he's got to throw it an extra, 3 or 4 yards just to
Yeah.
get it there. I will say, but real quick, a note on that Miami loss, dude. I mean,
It's atrocious.
that's when they say leave your coach on the tarmac. I mean, that's what they're talking about. That how you screw that up that bad with the season that you have going on. Lane, I'm with you. I like that pick a lot because you don't
in the
recover. I mean, that's mentally you don't overcome that, man, for a while. That hurt
And
bad.
in the post game presser, Cristobal threw the kid under the bus for fumbling. Says we tell people to put two hands on the ball. What are you talking about? How are
He
you
was
like
kneeling.
if you're a recruit like and you see him throw a kid under the bus like that after a stupid call? Why would you ever go play for that guy? Like
Well,
He probably fumbled because he was so dumbfounded. He was like, "Wait, why are we running the ball? Like I shouldn't even
I'm
be
getting
getting
the
this
ball.
handoff. Wait, what the hell? Like,
he was
No,
clearly down
you don't
too.
recover from that. You don't recover from that easily.
yeah,
You definitely don't recover from that against a good North Carolina team
on the road.
on the
Yeah, it's gonna be
road. I
tough.
mean that's going to stick with you.
All
The
right,
guy
yeah,
was
that's.
down too. His elbow was down if you watch the replay,
Oh
but
my
No, they
God.
still,
So
said
that not kneeling the ball is inexcusable. So the
the
refs
ref said maybe I can set up Haynes King for glory.
did and Cristobal, like he ever, I mean, at that point you can't have a justifiable answer to. I mean, did he say why they didn't kneel it? He just goes, I just wanted to like test my guy's
No,
hands.
he said that they had kneeled all year, and if you look back on the tape, like they did not. I mean, they were never in a touchdown game, but when they ran out the clock the whole year, they were running runs down the whole stretch. So that was his excuse, and I was just like, still, it doesn't make sense. Like that
Who
doesn't.
who does he think they are? Dallas Carter? Like, oh, we're never gonna, we go for two every time and we're never gonna kneel it. Going
Yeah,
for it on every fourth down. Like
I guess
what, dude?
it's an excuse for just poor coaching. I mean, you got to
Yeah.
say
Being an
something.
idiot.
Yeah.
That's a tough beat. Okay, Lane, what else do you got?
All right, moving on. Another good pick. I think Vegas is slipping on this one. Is Duke versus NC State. Duke -3 in this one. NC State hasn't looked good. I think they're overrated. They lost a close one last week. And then I like Duke. I mean, Duke played Notre Dame close. They beat Clemson on the year. They've got a solid squad, so I look for Duke to take care of this one. They're at home. I think Vegas is really slipping with this line because NC State has not impressed me one bit, and Duke, on the other hand, has. So this is a no-brainer for me, Duke -3.
Anytime Lane's talking shit to Vegas, I think it's going to be a good day.
and I like to do it often because Vegas is also slipping on this one too. I'm gonna say I did it last week and it burned me, but I'm gonna say it this week. U of H is now the worst team in the Big 12, and they're a 2-point dog to West Virginia. They are at home, but Houston has looked horrible. While West Virginia hasn't looked impressive, they've found a way to get wins, and I think they win this one by more than a field goal, right? So
Yeah.
look for it to be kind of close on the road, but West Virginia is going to cover the spread probably by 6, 3-point game, 6-point game. If you can get it while it's at -2, I would heavily hit West Virginia in this one. And then
y'all remind me because I want to go back to that one after you're done, Lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Oregon State -3.5 versus UCLA. Oregon State has looked good. They got a big win last week. They're at home. And this one, I'll take Oregon State with 3.5 points. And, they played, I think it was Arizona, a lot better than UCLA did. Arizona kept it close in that one. And I like Oregon State -3.5 at home in a big ranked matchup in the Pac-12. And then moving on, keeping it out west, this one's Notre Dame versus USC. I guess it'll be at Notre Dame, though, so not technically out west. I like Notre Dame at home. They played Ohio State close. USC absolutely should have lost last week in double OT to Arizona. Arizona blew the game with a botched kick and then a horrible play call going for it for their 2-point conversions back and forth. Absolute. Me and Chef were watching that game. Horrible play call by Arizona. USC did not deserve to win that game. They do not get so lucky this week on the road at Notre Dame. Notre Dame covers it -3.
Jeff Likey.
That's the card. Book it.
That's
if you
great
want to
card.
win.
You said something about out west, and I saw my cowboy hat being neglected over there, so I decided it was time to make an impact change right in the middle of this the RIP Week 7 edition. Before I want to give a quick shout out before I forget to our sponsor for this week's The RIP Show. That is Josh Griffon with the TIG team at REMAX Properties. He does both residential and commercial real estate. He's an amazing guy to work with. If you're, looking to invest, if you're looking to sell some property or invest in property, you're going to want to work with Josh Griffon. If you're interested, you can DM us at Ramblin' Raiders on Twitter, at Ramblin' Raiders on Instagram. I don't know. I'm not on TikTok enough. I'm pretty sure you can DM us there at Ramblin' Raiders. You can email us, ramblingraiders@gmail.com. You can, what else is there? You can leave a comment there, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ramblin' Raiders Media. Leave a comment saying you're interested on this video. We will get you in touch with Josh Griffon, the TIG team, baby. We'll get you in touch with Josh Griffon, and he has been known to throw a pretty nice deal, cut of the pie, to Ramblin' Raiders sympathizers and followers, and also anyone that's involved with the Texas Tech Alumni Association. So Josh Griffon's your guy. Y'all need to hit him up, and he's our sponsor for this episode. Thank you, Josh. All right, what was it? Houston hosting West Virginia. That's right. I have it at -3. That's what you said, isn't it, Lane? Yeah, 3.
I'm seeing it at 2 in my book. I would hit it at 2 if you can.
Oh wow!
It'll probably differentiate through the books, but I'm seeing it at 2.
Okay, I got it at 3 over here on webmail. But either way, I mean, damn. So I want to throw this in there because I did an interview yesterday. Y'all need to go check it out. It's on our YouTube channel as well if you want to subscribe and look at it there. But with Brandon Camp, he's a senior at Texas Tech, part of the Texas Tech Hockey Club, our ice hockey team. I can't wait to comp a jersey and get some merch from them. They're actually playing in Sugar Land, not this weekend, but next weekend on Friday and Saturday. He said their Friday games in the evening. I believe it's 6 or 5:30. I'll put out a promo on that tomorrow. And then the Saturday games at 12:30. Go check out our ice hockey team. These guys are bruisers, man. They're getting out there and grinding. And who doesn't like a hockey game, man? Violence at its best. And so as long as nobody takes a skate off and starts trying to cut somebody, then it's all fun and games. So he was saying at the end, he goes, "Look, I got a pick for the boys for the RIP panel. I want y'all to, see what you think about it." And it's him and Lane are simpatico, man. They got a brain connection going on, some wavelengths going on between the two of them. He loves this pick, and for the same reasons you do, Lane. I mean, Houston is just trash, and at this point, you got to wonder, Dana Holgerson, he's got to be holding on for dear life. I don't know what these guys are playing for anymore. I saw a tweet earlier about their recruiting statistics with Holgerson right now, and they look really bad next year and the year after. I mean, he is setting up, he's pulling a Bill O'Brien for the Texans, equivalent to that for the Houston Cougars. He's really trying to, this program is not going anywhere positive anytime soon. And so I don't know
think he's holding out for, I think he's holding out. He's just collecting his money for retirement at this point. I think he's looking to retire pretty here soon. And maybe after this year when they can him, he's going to say, all right, I'll take my money and walk.
It gotta be, because I just don't see at this point your season's, pretty much washed. Like you're not really, I just don't know where these guys are going to dig deep and be able to pull it out in front of the tens of, 50s of, 50 fans they got, 10 or 50 fans. Somewhere I'd be surprised if they cracked 1,000. I saw tickets for $1 on StubHub for those. So they're hurting as a fan base right now. Well, I was gonna say tens and tens of fans. They'll be lucky to break a couple thou there. It's gonna be pretty rough in Houston. I think that might be the Unity pick this week, boys.
Yeah, I was gonna say Unity. Let's call it 2.5. I'm now seeing that line has moved on my book to 2.5. Let's call the Unity at West Virginia. Minus 2.5.
I'm down, man. I mean, we hadn't hit one yet this year. Why not, go outside the box and with Brandon Camp and get it done. The boys on the RIP spell redemption, Brandon. Yeah, that's right. Brandon. That's right. We spell it Brandon this weekend for this.
Check the spelling on that one, Jay.
For this Unity hit. I know, man. I don't have any spell check whenever I'm talking, so it's always a roll of the dice here. Okay, last but not least, so we got our Unity hit under wraps. We're good there. Let's throw it to Marky Mark and finish this thing strong.
Yeah, so we touched on it earlier. It's been kind of a rough season for me. We're about at the halfway point. So the second half of the season, I'm going to try to switch up my thinking a little bit. I've always been kind of the one to lay numbers. I've always kind of liked the favorites. This week, and maybe depending on how this week goes for the rest of the season, I'm picking straight dogs. So the first dog that I'm going with is good old-fashioned SEC East football. Vanderbilt is getting 31.5 at home versus Georgia. Georgia just rolled Kentucky. I can't imagine they're going to want to get off the mat for this game. They're not going to be too fired up. Give me the 31.5. That's a lot of points. Syracuse is getting 17.5. They're going to Florida State. Florida State, I mean, they're number 4 in the country, but they've kind of had some survival games. They've pulled some out of their hat. I don't really think that they're world beaters, and I think the Syracuse team can be frisky. 17.5. Give me those points. A team that we saw earlier in a big time spot, Colorado State has Boise at home. They're getting 7.5. They're a big physical team. I think that this is going to be a game played in the cold. Boise's going to have a tough time. I think if they win, it's by less than a touchdown. So give me the 7.5. Give me those points there. This is going against somebody on the panel. Lane mentioned that he's on Oregon State. UCLA kind of shoved it in my face last week. Big Pig Joe was kind of ahead of the curve, said they have a really good defense. I looked this morning. UCLA's defense leads the country in all advanced metrics. So, I mean, they might have the best defense in the country. They're getting 3.5 at Oregon State. Granted, that is a tough place to play. That would be a wild environment, but I'm going to take UCLA. They're kind of on the up and up with Chip out there, so I like those points there, 3.5. And then the last pick that I have, I didn't really get this number. I saw that Air Force is 5-0, but a team that's kind of been profitable for this panel, Wyoming, is going to Air Force plus 10.5. I don't know, Wyoming getting 10.5 points, the team must be good. So I'm going to take Wyoming plus the points there, and I don't really see Air Force blowing anybody out, considering they've not done that my entire life. So that's my card.
Mark, kind of just piggybacking off what you said about Wyoming, they've played a lot of tough teams. Wyoming's had a pretty decently tough schedule. I checked Air Force's, and not nearly as tough as what Wyoming's faced. I think they're more tested. I'd ride with Wyoming as well.
Yeah, plus 10.5. Like I said, we're picking straight dogs. We want the points this week, and we're going to try to flip it up, try to reverse that bad juju we've had.
Your UCLA Oregon State pick is absolute shit, but other than that, pretty good card.
All I know is Joe has a stitch in his crawl with UCLA after they boned him on that first half bet he did last week.
Yeah, we had -2.5 for USC or UCLA. First half, they're up, I think, a field goal. And they're in the in scoring territory. They throw a pick six. Another time you could have just kneeled the ball.
Trash.
To blow the first
Trash.
half cover. You know, that play actually brought us from a break-even weekend to 2-4. So
I think that
I mean,
when Joe and I rode together and we won, and I had the black mark, the dark mark or whatever, I think I transferred it to Joe on that the first time we ever hit. I think I gave him all my bad juju because it seems to be off of me and following him now.
I mean, some were saying last week Joe couldn't buy one.
Yeah.
Man, hey, but it's all right.
I saw plenty of that in my DMs, talking about burning down my bee farm and trying to get at me personally.
Y'all do me a favor and stay the hell out of Big Picks DMs, okay? Like if you're getting that frustrated, you need to start betting less money. Go see a life coach, a priest, a therapist. Like, come on, man. This isn't that serious, dude. You gotta relax a little bit.
That goes against everything we preach, man. Always double down to catch up.
I actually like staying in my
that's
DMs.
true.
It puts my back against the wall, and that's how I perform best.
No, I would say like in the past when ramblings, come up against the haters and shit talkers, I think it just fueled the fire to help us, keep moving forward, keep going on and just doing our thing and putting out that premium Texas Tech / sports betting A1 content that our growth and followers seem to admire. So there's something about being a rat in a corner, baby. Like, when your back's up against the wall, you got to claw out to survive, dude. And I think I'd say we thrive in those moments of pressure, Joe.
Definitely, man. I felt the pressure this week putting together this card, and man, I got 5 winners this week. We're gonna turn the tide, and I like the whole panel's picks. I think
we come out.
Again.
Hey, we come out shiny on the other side when it's all said and done. Let me end it on this question right here. We have the ALCS Astros 7th straight appearance. The Rangers, had a quick turnaround from where they were at last year and really where they've been at the last couple of years. They start getting things in the right direction. Honestly, really impressive playoff run right now. Haven't lost a game, sweeped 2 really good teams, especially in the with this last one against the Orioles. The Lone Star Series, or better yet, as Mark told me earlier, the Silver Boot. Who takes home the trophy? I mean, what do y'all see happening in this Lone Star Showdown?
Yeah, I'll just go real quick. You said something about the Astros. Yeah, we had this is a 7th straight ALCS. This is
tried and true.
The first time the Rangers have made it since Vietnam, or when was the last time they were ever here? So
since I was in high school.
Yeah, even if they do win, wow, congratulations. Look, first time. I mean, we've already been here 7 times. But look,
enjoy it. It's pretty fun.
Enjoy getting to the ALCS because it stops here. You go no further. You won't be going to the World Series. Astros all the way.
Hey, y'all better be careful because we got a lot of homies on the that are catching some strays that are Texas Tech fans. But Mark's the Aggie, so y'all can all hate on each other. But my boys, Coach Beans, Aztec guy, we got love for you. But we have to keep it toxic when it comes to this ALCS because that's what baseball is all about, baby. I mean, that's what makes these rivalries fun. And I actually love it that it's an all Texas, all Texas final until we get to the World Series. To me, I mean, the Yankees, these other teams, the state of Texas owns baseball right now. Whenever you think about it, man, we're dominating on all fronts. So I think it's funny. Hey, you talk about hate in the DMs and people getting pissed off. You better watch out. Talking trash.
Oh, come get it. Come get it. I'm open to it, dude. I want it all. 7 straight.
Come talk trash. We own New York. We're about to own that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be betting Astros money line, but I'll be looking at some Josh Jung base running props.
Give me. Yeah, I love it, man.
Maybe some home runs, and I think he'll get on base, get that bat hot.
I don't see him getting on base against Verlander.
Hey, I see everybody. I mean, Verlander. I don't know. Verlander needs to pull his head out, man. Actually, I can't talk trash because he's helped us out a lot in the past, but he's got to step up his playoff resume for sure. Anyways,
good
all right.
against the
So it
Twins.
sounds like we're all predicting ready to rain the H.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt. I mean, this is what we do. This is,
It's
I mean,
all
like Lane touched on it earlier. I mean, first time here, boys. Like it's pretty fun. So this is the show. This is what we do. So get ready.
hey, all in good fun. I can't wait. It's going to be an electric weekend with baseball. You know, you got playoff baseball getting late into October here with a great week 7. Texas Tech. I won't. Lane and I'll try to get a a preview ep. I mean, out tomorrow. But I will say, big game this weekend. I mean, again, we've kind of turned the tide of our season 3-3. Needed these last 2 desperately. This isn't one where if you lose it, your season's over. You can still recover. But as far as having your sights on Arlington and really making a nice bowl game, getting to 8 wins or so, this is a big home game, a big test against 2 pretty evenly matched teams. We'll try to get y'all a preview out by tomorrow. All right, boys. From the RIP panel, Big Pick Joe, we got Laney's Locks, and we have Tail Magic Mark, or I Pick Losers, about to be I Pick Straight Hitters after week 7. I am the Cowboy Chef. I don't know. I'm having an identity crisis. I don't know who I am anymore. Thomas Shelby, Arthur, Stash, Peaky Blinder cut. I'm just a man that is lost right now. So, look, we're gonna have a great weekend. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We love keeping up with our followers. We love interacting with y'all. Y'all make this fun for us. So stay with us. Tail us if you have to. Make money that way. Fade us. Ride with us. We will take the bling, or y'all take the bets to the book. We're gonna take the bling to the bank. And as always, baby, ramble on. We'll see y'all next time.
H-Town, hold it down.
Let's see if I can get this done without filling my back out.